Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my YouTube channel. I am your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today for you I have a Bjorn's Mighty Thoughts video. I'm going to be taking time to talk about a demo I recently played called Starship Simulator. And this was actually recommended to me by, I believe it was by Steam. This was recommended to me. You can actually go and get the demo off Steam until the end of October is what they have announced on the Discord. But I'm just going to share some thoughts here about it. And honestly, when I first fired it up and actually loaded into the game and saw the ship and everything else, the first thing I thought about was Star Trek, to be honest. I mean, it's not like a one-to-one, but it's definitely very reminiscent to Star Trek, if you will. Now, the idea, looking at it, it is going to have multiplayer. I don't know if it actually currently does. It looks like an option I could have selected, but I don't see why you really would right now, considering it's in a demo. But it does actually have multiplayer, and it looks like basically it's like a multiplayer co-op RPG where you could literally play as a Star Trek crew. You'd be like the heads of your departments. You'd have a captain, a tactical officer, etc. Now, from what I understand, when the game is finished, there is going to be NPCs in the game. They're going to be kind of like the Skyrim thing, where they're actually going to have daily tasks that they'll actually do and daily pathing and stuff of that nature on the ship itself. So it'll make the ship feel more alive, but that's a feature that's not currently there yet. Now, other things I can point out too, that it feels, I don't know, just the whole thing feels very Star Trek-like. And I know a part of the idea of the game is to actually explore various planets throughout the solar systems. Currently, right now, the solar system that you start in is Sol, so basically Earth, Mars, Jupiter, etc. And of course the moon. I actually flew to the moon at one point. Didn't take too long because of faster than light travel. And just, yeah, everything just looks really Star Trek-like. Like, even the bridge, when I walked on the bridge, it's like, holy crap, this is, you know, like the bridge of the Enterprise or something like that. Now, instead of an actual view screen, you're actually looking out a window. So I thought that was pretty cool. From what I understand, it kind of feels more naval ship-like. And it really does, because, like, I went down into the engineering department and I could see like wire conduits and I could see pipes and stuff like that. So it felt less sci-fi and more real world, or if you will, it felt more like Star Trek Enterprise, where you needed to think along the lines of an actual naval ship versus, you know, what you're typically used to in Star Trek, even though the bridge felt very Star Trek-like. And I think that's cool. I could see potential in this game. I could see a market for this game for sure. The only thing I'm concerned with at looking at this is because of the instant collations. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm old and shit, folks. What do you expect? But the instant draw to looking and feeling like Star Trek, I wonder if that's not going to cause any problems with them later, because let's be honest, folks, CBS is very notorious for being very tightly controlled of and etc. with the Star Trek franchise. And even though this doesn't have the name, and there is quite a few changes I could pick out between this ship and, say, the USS Enterprise, yeah, I would still be concerned if I was the creators. But who knows? You know, they probably know. They probably understand the copyright laws better than I do. Now, the developers, Fleet Yard Studios, I've never really heard of the developer before, but I guess the development team has worked on other projects, from what I understand, in the past. I'm not going to point out any particular ones here. The current demo does have controller support, but understand that the current demo too is also very limited. There's still a lot of stuff here that is definitely being worked on. As you can see here, there's various consoles. that doesn't have anything on them yet, or very little stuff on them. The bridge engineering department has stuff, but like the medical department had nothing. You know, there was a couple sections of the ship that was just absolutely nothing was there. I still think this is, like I said, kind of a cool idea. You know, a Star Trek-esque type game where you go out, explore the solar system and everything else with a couple buddies, crewing, more or less being like the chiefs of the various departments in the ships. You know, chief of the engineering department, tactical officer, etc. So I could definitely see a market for this. That being said, like I said, it's very, very early. And you can see in the upper right-hand corner, it says Alpha Tech Demo. So, I mean, yeah, what does that tell you? This thing is going to be years from being released. But it's definitely very cool to see a game like this being done. That being said, they do have a Patreon. That's mostly how the game is being supported right now. This ain't the first time I've talked about a Patreon game. Gunner Heat PC obviously came from Patreon, and now it's a Steam game. So that was kind of one of those games that was a pipe dream that became reality. I mean, it's still being developed and worked on, but you know, it's actually has early access release on Steam. So I would say, looking at what I saw in the demo, maybe 2 to 3 years, probably closer to 3 years, before we're actually going to see really what this game's going to become. I'm just kind of talking about it here today, and this is going to be kind of one of those things that I'm pretty much going to turn a blind eye to it for, you know, probably a couple years, probably at least 2 years, and then I'll actually check back in on the progress of the game down the road. Now, that being said, I've seen a lot of photographs that they've posted online. They have a Facebook, they have a Twitter. A lot of cool stuff on there, image-wise. I've also seen they posted some little short video clips of different things that they're working on and developing. So, you know, I think they are definitely doing a really interesting job. So it's definitely I think it's a really cool project. I can't say how cool I think this. You know, I can't say enough of how cool of a project I think this is, and that I'm actually really hopeful for this project. Either ways, that being said too, you can actually check out their Discord. What I'll do is I'll post a link in for their Patreon and their Discord down below in my video description, so you guys can go check it out if you want to yourself, as well as, like I said, until the end of October, there's a tech demo that you can download on Steam. I at least recommend. You know, I didn't get a chance to explore every square inch of the ship. But there's not really a whole lot to do currently. Like, from what I can tell, you can't get off the ship and, like, go explore a planet or anything like that yet. You know, once again, it's an alpha tech demo. What can you say, folks? Either ways, at the end of the day, this is what I want from the final product. I better be able to seduce green women or bust. Just count me out. Seduce green women or I'm out. Anyway, folks, that's just me talking about Starship Simulator. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I recommend at least checking it out. Maybe gain additional information that maybe I didn't cover here, but I've covered pretty much everything that I could find out about the game currently. Understand that I'm not like in the background, you know, getting information from the developers directly. I'm just doing this video on my own accord. Anyway, folks, thanks again for tuning in. Have yourself a wonderful day.